You must be a happy hammer out there.
Yeah.
You guys witnessed this beautiful match earlier today, and you got to be happy. It was just a delightful performance, and we will definitely get into that later on. We do have a special guest close to me, actually, on the map anyway. Andrew, what's going on, my man? How you doing tonight?
Good. How's it going, guys?
Awesome. And my co-host for the evening is none other than Celly. What's going on, Celly?
Hey, nice to be back, guys. Good to see everybody. Nice to meet you, Andrew.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So real quick, just going to mention drinkwaredesign.com. They make these fancy, shiny, smooth, beautiful mugs. This one's got our logo on it, but you can get whatever you want on there. They also make engraved flasks, sport drink bottles, etc., with whatever logo you want. Out of Plano, Texas, and there's at least one hammer involved in that operation. So it's good to support fellow hammers when you can. We also got some t-shirts available at bonfire.com/AHTV-2 or bonfire.com/AmericanHammersTV. You can check them both out. The links are on our website, which is AmericanHammersTV.us. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button and the notification bell. We've been putting out a lot of content, but before we finish this evening, I have a lot of good news about there's a lot of new content coming. We're going to be replacing some of these interview shows since we were doing about 5 or 6 a week, just interviews. And we decided to change it up. Not all of them. We're still going to do the interviews. Just we get some new shows on the way. So the month of October will be looking pretty new, looking pretty fresh. So follow us on social media. We're all over the place. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We've got over 2,000 followers now. We've hit that mark on Instagram and Twitter, and we've reached over 1,000 page likes on Facebook. And we have, I think, like 828 subscribers on YouTube. So we're trying to get to 1,000. Once we hit the 1,000 on YouTube subscribers, we're going to start giving away some stuff. Excuse me, like maybe some of these mugs, maybe some scarves, maybe some shirts. Anyway, yeah. So, Andrew, how on earth did you become a hammer?
One of the first games I ever watched was the FA Cup final against Liverpool, which we all know how poorly that ended with the final score and everything like that. But I just remember kind of watching it on television and really seeing the crowd get into it whenever West Ham would take a lead. And so, I kind of did some research after that and realized, Liverpool is one of the bigger clubs. Well, I don't want to just jump on a bandwagon. I don't want to do that. I want to be with a club that I can watch kind of grow. And obviously we all know of growing pains that we've gone through with being a Hammer supporter, but I've loved them ever since. So.
So what was the first match you remember watching?
It was that one. It was that FA Cup final. After that, it really took a long time for it to kind of get on TV here and to be able to see it. I'd say the ones that I really can remember and give you details of was a couple of years before they went down. That's when I watched them religiously every week and or at least tried to, and be able to keep up with scores and transfer, rumors and everything else like that, and always kind of seeing who the next people are. So.
Yeah, it's definitely one nice thing now about, I guess, I don't even know if technology is the right word to use, but, NBC Sports, you're able to get a better chance of watching, West Ham play a lot more often instead of, just getting lucky seeing them play, one of the, top 4, top 6 teams, whenever they play once or twice a week. So it's definitely nice. I know me and Gaz were talking to somebody and, excuse me, we were both able to watch the game here in the States, and he lives not too far away from the stadium, and it just wasn't televised, and he wasn't even able to watch it. So it's pretty crazy how, us over here in America get a chance to watch it, even if they might not be able to in England.
Yeah. I actually work in hotels, so I was able to. I've been moving around the last couple of years, and I really am amazed that I could go to Orlando or New Orleans or any place like that and still get it. And then I moved back here, which is where I'm originally from. And like I said, we're fortunate enough to have the NBC Sports to be able to give it to you and whatever game you want.
There's an elephant in the room. There's an elephant in the room. It looks like Lee, who I could have sworn told me he couldn't do Sundays for a couple weeks, but here he is.
Just during the day. Today is my older son's 9th birthday, so we had a big party today. We had a party today for Isaac, which is great, and West Ham won, which is even better. But no, I just needed Sundays off during the day for UK guests. I'm cool on Sunday nights, man. I'm here for Sunday nights. I love Sunday nights.
Then you and Celly can go at it because Celly's I could use a night off, so I can do some stuff behind the scenes. Going forward, I mean, obviously not tonight. Tonight,
right. Oh, that'd be great.
So there's 3 Massachusetts people ganging up on Mr. California boy over there.
Yeah, right. Good old 6 o'clock.
Yeah, but yeah, man. So we're here with. So I'm sorry, Andrew. Where in Massachusetts you live in?
I'm in Haverhill, Massachusetts. So.
Haverhill.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I grew up in Merrimack. That's funny.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, this is where I grew up. I lived in New Hampshire for a little bit, and then, like I said, I worked in hotels, so I've kind of moved around. I've lived in Orlando and New Orleans, so I've tried to find Hammer supporters in each place. So
that's crazy, dude. What a trip, man. Haverhill, the home of Rob Zombie. What else?
I didn't know that.
Not much, but Haverhill was like the biggest town or city near where I lived, where I grew up. I grew up in Newburyport, Merrimack, Amesbury, that little area. And Haverhill was biggest thing next door, I guess. Yeah. And what a trip, man. That's cool.
Yep. We used it, what was it, the biggest supplier of like leather for shoes and stuff like that back in the day?
Yeah, that's right.
Building, so.
Wow, that's right, man. What a small friggin' world, man. Wow. Yep. This show is just amazing, dude. So anyway, Andrew, we've been doing this since deadline day of last January, and we were just trying to showcase all the different supporters groups across the country, and then it evolved into something different, and like we just kept growing and growing and growing because we kept meeting more and more and more awesome people from all over the country, all over the world, really. We got what is it here? We got Ray Borum in the chat room. He's living in Liverpool, running a Coyote Ugly bar. But he's he's from Dagenham, West Ham supporter, is awesome. And then we got Penny Lawless, as Dan Lawless's mom from West Ham Fan TV. We made some great friends doing this across the globe, really. I don't know where Neil is though. Neil,
I was gonna say, I'm sure he's lurking around somewhere.
He's from like South Australia, dude. And he watches all of our videos. Just cool.
Well, Wally's in New Orleans, I think. Or maybe he's coming home from New Orleans.
No, he's in New Orleans with Brad. What was his name?
He's probably having too good a time in New Orleans to come and watch us at 8 o'clock at night New Orleans time. You know what I mean? I'd probably be doing something else too if I were in New Orleans tonight. But
yeah,
don't see Gabe. My buddy Gabe, my boy from Boston. He's not here.
No, he's been in though, and I just want to mention something real quick, especially about you talking Haverhill. And now it makes more sense why when I asked you before you came on, Andrew, if you've ever like hung out with the Boston Hammers, it is a drive. And me being in Lowell right now, and Lee's in Chelmsford, we're like, I'd say about halfway between you and Boston. Yeah, maybe closer to you though, I guess more closer so. To you, I would say. Yeah, close to you. Yeah, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes instead. But it's just a pain, man. Massachusetts. It's just a pain to get in and around, especially on a weekday morning. Or no, weekday. I'm sorry. A weekend morning to get in and out of Dorchester, dude. You know what I mean? But we've been talking for a couple of years now about getting something closer up in the Merrimack Valley.
Yeah. There's a place in Nashua that looks promising. I just don't know if it has NBC Sports Gold, but it looks promising as a place that does breakfast. And then starts with the drinks at like 10 a.m., I think. So could be good, but we'll see.
Yeah, the only place that I've ever been was the Banshee, which was, where is it?
That's Dorchester, man.
That's right. Have you been down?
Roxbury or Dorchester? I'm sorry. Is it Roxbury or Dorchester?
Roxbury, yeah.
Roxbury.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
I've been there. There's
This
a
place I
couple
never
of
go.
people there, but
Have you
I've
been
been
to the
there a
Banshee,
few times.
Andrew?
I've been twice, I think. I like I said, I work in
Yeah.
hotels, and unfortunately, they never close. So you're Saturday mornings, Saturday nights, whatever the case may be, you're working. So, it's generally speaking, this was a rare Sunday off.
What do you?
And
What's your job?
I'm a food and beverage manager at DoubleTree Boston Cambridge. So I do have to travel into the city every day, and if I do the morning shifts, it's like 6 to 3. And then if I leave at 3, it's generally 2 hours to get home because of traffic. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
one of
no,
those-
that's brutal. That's brutal. And you're probably doing a lot of events that are on weekends and nights and stuff too, right?
Oh yeah. We have a rooftop bar. It's really really nice. One of the better views of the city.
Yeah.
We do DJs up there and stuff like that, but it's starting to get to that time of year where it's just a little cold. So
Yeah, that's a nice hotel. Actually, that's a really nice hotel. I haven't been there in a while, but I've been to a few events there over the years. It's really great. But it makes it hard to watch games live. I was in church this morning. My in-laws, my father-in-law is a pastor of a church, and my mother-in-law are retiring from their church. The retiring period, and so they had a big retirement party today. So that's where I was from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. this morning. was an actual church instead of like West Ham Church, but anyway,
right.
so I didn't get to be live either, but saw the match later on, and fantastic result, obviously. Now, I didn't hear. Are you from Haverhill? Was that your hometown?
Yeah, that's where I grew up. I spent most of my time in Fremont, New Hampshire, which is right over the border,
Right.
about a half hour from here. But my father lives here, my grandmother lives here, so I'm right down the street from them now. Kind of the traveling thing. I came back here. I'm an only child, so my parents are not getting any younger, so it's kind of wanting to be around, help them out, and stuff like that. So whether they want me around or not, I don't know, but I thought I'd try to be nice anyway.
I'm an only child too, and my mom lives with us now. After my dad died a few years ago, my mother moved in with us from Texas. So yeah, I know how it goes and how that feels. Definitely, you do what you have to do. You know what I mean? Tim, have we gotten? I'm sorry, I didn't get here earlier. Have we gotten into why Andrew supports West Ham?
Yes, we did.
Well, I will say this: you are tastefully named Andrew, because that is my younger son's name, Andrew. So I'm a particularly big fan
Right.
of the name Andrew. So at least there's that. That's good.
Yeah. Listen, I try to fit in wherever I can.
Right. So Andrew, when you were saying you were traveling around Orlando, New Orleans, and things of that nature, trying to find other West Ham fans, did you ever have any luck to watch games with other people? Or
Orlando was weird. There was an actual bar in Orlando that said, "Hey, we're a West Ham bar. Come by."
Yeah.
So, my wife at the time had brought me to the bar for my birthday in November, and we walked in. Door was open. Had my shirt on, everything like that. They're watching the game. They're like, "Oh, we're not open." And there was like 2 people there, and I was like, "Oh, I just want to watch the game." I said, "I'm not." They're like, "Yeah, we're not open." I'm like, "Oh, isn't this a West Ham bar?" They're like, "Yeah, I'm glad you're a fan, but yeah, we're not open." So that was the closest I came.
Oh, wow.
Orlando.
Watching the game, and they will let you come in and watch.
No. See, and again, for the life of me, I can't remember what the name of it was, and I don't want to blast them or anything like that. But
right.
it's just one of those things that.
Remember what time it
We
was?
see him a fan, whatever.
Maybe that was the problem that they were running into, because we've reached out to the Orlando Hammers multiple times since we started this and tried to get them on. And then it came down to literally maybe like a week before we were supposed to have them on. And then he said, "I give up. I'm done." And he had a group down there. And maybe it was because it was so difficult to get in his own damn bar.
I remember we had the gentleman from the Sacramento Hammers on. He was saying something similar. Now, granted, kickoff times here are a little earlier than they would be on the East Coast, but he was saying something to the effect of it's kind of hard to find a bar to have meetups at, if it's an early kickoff. Like today, the game kicked off at 6 a.m. for me, and obviously bars aren't open at that time. I know there's like regulations and stuff for, places that feature alcohol that can't be open at a certain time, but maybe that might have been a reason that it was too.
Yeah, well, you either gotta open your own damn bar, or you gotta or just bring as many, you compile as many West Ham supporters as you can in the area, and just show up at these places and loiter outside until they let you in.
Right.
Either that or just take
watch the game through the window.
Down to Fresno or LA or something, because
well,
they're always open. The 4:30 matches, they're there.
Yeah. Nina from Denver talked about, she put together a PowerPoint presentation and she took it to all the bars in the area where she lived around Denver, and basically said, all right, here's what we can give you if you open up for us at 8 o'clock on Saturday mornings. I think most games would be 8 o'clock Saturday mornings in that time zone. And that's how Denver, Mile High Hammers, whatever they're called, the club in Denver ended up having a place to watch. It's just sort of like pitch the group, I don't know how well it will around here, but it could work in other cities. I mean, it's worth a try if you want to put the effort into it,
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think a lot of it too, with bartenders or just, bars in general, especially on Saturdays or even Sundays, football season, Premier League starts right around the same time that you have college football and college or NFL start. So, you just kind of open up, 3-4 hours early, you just open up all day and you're just showing sports. You have a steady stream of people. You just have to get there a little earlier.
Yeah.
Did you watch it home this morning?
What was that?
Did you watch it home this morning?
Myself or Andrew?
You.
Oh, yeah. No, I woke up this morning. I watched the game. I was bright and early. Try to wake up a little bit early just to see what they were talking about on Premier League mornings. Yeah, I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready for the game to start. I was excited for sure.
How about you, Andrew? Did you watch it this morning at home?
I watched it here at home. I woke up. Generally, let's say I was at work till about 2 in the morning, so I woke up like 5 minutes before to kind of turn it on and just get the coffee going and all that stuff. But we were saying talking about Orlando and stuff, but New Orleans, it wasn't a problem. You could go to any bar and still drink at any time, so you could find bars and stuff that would show it. Generally speaking, they would show whatever match of the day was, and then eventually it kind of caught on to the NBC Gold, where they could show all different ones. So that was the fun part about there, is they didn't care what times. Here's liquor laws are just so weird.
Oh yeah,
what time? Especially on Sunday.
Especially on Sunday. Yeah. You know what was a rude awakening? You can't. I'm sure you guys probably knew this, but I learned it the hard way. You can't buy booze. Is it the whole state of Massachusetts? You can't buy booze on holidays. Because one place we were headed to my brother-in-law's house on Thanksgiving Day, and I was like, I'm gonna need something to get through Thanksgiving Day, and so we stopped at one of the few CVS that has alcohol, because most of them don't, and it was all like there was plastic over all the shelves. It said no alcohol sales on Thanksgiving. I was like, are you serious?
Wow.
It's the day when you need it the most.
Right.
The whole holiday. You can't take it away from me. So that was a rough one. Yeah, that was a rough one. Yeah.
Well, we do need to get Kevin Mitchell back on the show from Sacramento. That would be cool. Try to help convince him to something going over there, and also the gentleman down in Orlando not to give up. Maybe just try to find another bar, because he had enough to have something called a group, which could have been like 5 people, which is fine enough. But you just got to find somewhere, and a lot of these places. I mean, even if that's infiltrate another supporters club's bar, I don't care.
Right. Yeah. Go find the Man United fans. Just go and watch it with them.
Just to start or something. Yeah, and also we should start with up here. Drew, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we got Tim, you and I, and Ken up in he's up in near Manchester. That's not that far away. And Andrew's in Haverhill. That's pretty much in our neighborhood. So we got 4 right now.
Yeah.
It's
a group. It's a group, man.
What?
Yeah. Oh God! Speaking of groups, I'm going to be visiting the DC Irons on Saturday. Can't wait.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, man. Had a great time in Philly, the Norwich match, and cannot wait to see Kostya and Lucas and Steve Skippin and everybody down there in DC. And hopefully, I think our co-host of American Hammers Radio with Kyle from Fresno. I think Zach from Maryland's going to be taking a trip down to say hello, which will be awesome. So if anybody else is going to be in the area or in driving distance to DC, just bring a shitload of money for parking because it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. If you've never been to DC, just fucking don't park. Just Uber or something. Wow. Yeah, we got a hotel and we got all the whole 9 yards, and the rates for parking is just I'm still in shock. Yeah, we'll be there, and yeah, it'll be good. So that'll be for the Bournemouth match. So let's talk a little bit about the match we saw today. Let's get to Andrew's thoughts to start off with. What'd you think, my man? What'd you think going into it?
I mean, going into it, I mean, you see the name Manchester United, you already have the thought of, okay, well, maybe we can draw this, maybe we can do this, But they're just Manchester United's not the same team that they were, and again, they have the ability to be a great team, but West Ham just seems every week they seem to be putting together better and better matches, whether it's a complete team and stuff like that. You start off your year with Manchester City 5-0 loss, and you go, well, they're a great team, but that's still. Our defense looks shaky, and then, but every match they seem to do better and better. I always shake my head with Endo Agbana playing, but he seems to be mixing well now back there. He had to throw Cresswell in. Obviously, big goal from him. Great free kick. Yeah. It's just they just seem to be doing that much better every time. And again, you have one of the better keepers in the league that can save anything. You get a solid 4 back in front of them, you're going to have, clean sheets week in and week out. And, they're starting to create more. They're starting to possess the ball a little bit more. So, just you put the players that we have, and you're even missing one of your key pieces in Lanzini again. So, I mean, how do you theoretically, you should be going up from here still.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think one thing too, kind of to add on to that is, I think whether West Ham fans were shaky going into the match, I think seeing the Man United injury list, would boost confidence. Me personally, I wasn't too concerned about it going in. I know we've been in better form than they have. United did get a pretty good win last week against Leicester, but at the same time, I think our last match. I'm sorry, not the last match. I know we played Villa, but our match before that, previously at home against Norwich, was probably the best game we played all season. And then it's kind of justified when they go in the next weekend and they beat up on Manchester City. So, I mean, granted they lost the weekend after that, but that's okay. That's just football. But as much as anybody might want to say, oh, you only beat them because they were injured. Well, like you were saying, Andrew, Lanzini was out, Antonio's still out. We have injuries of our own. But I still think, we showed up, the fans showed up, the players showed up. And it was a good, complete game. First half, honestly, it was kind of a little boring, I will say, from both sides. I think both sides are kind of playing not to lose. But then once the second half whistle went off, it was just, let's go after it. And especially for United because they were down, 1-0. But yeah, I was happy with what I saw for sure.
Lee.
Yeah, it's funny. You look at the team sheets for today. With all the injuries they had, we just had a better team than they did. We just had better players. I'm not sure last time I could say that about West Ham and Manchester United. Probably never. But our starting 11 had better quality than theirs did. There was a lot of money in that starting 11. They paid a boatload for Harry Maguire, who was pretty poor today, I thought.
Still got outshined by Issa Diop, too.
Right, exactly. I just looked at our starting 11 and thought, this is just a better team with a better manager. And quite frankly, we shouldn't be surprised that we won at home. Again, you see that I'm with you, Andrew. You see them in Manchester United. Think about all those dominant Alex Ferguson. You think about the money that's there. You think about the reputation, and it's kind of scary. But I didn't expect anything less than a draw in this match. When I saw the starting 11s, I thought, you know what? We should win this. We're just better than they are. We might finish ahead of them this season, and I'm not joking about this. We might finish ahead of them. I listen, from healthy, it's not beyond the realm of possibility. They were not good today. They were very good. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to take anything away from our performance. They were not good. They didn't really create much. I thought we created the better chances. And listen, we didn't have Lanzini, who has been one of our better players. We didn't have Masuraku, who's been in form. Yarmolenko stepped in and scored and played it really well again. And then Cresswell looked the best he's looked in 4 or 5 years.
Unbelievable.
Best I've seen.
Yeah, Cresswell looked like he was playing in 2016.
Right. That's the best I've seen him look since the last season to go in. So credit to those two guys, because I was kind of wondering, if Yarmo was up for it, because he looked a little worn out the last few games. I was wondering if Cresswell was sort of reaching the end of his time. Well, not right now. And I have to say that, to me, arguably man of the match, and he was involved in the build-up to both goals, Mark Noble. Mark Noble was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Noble was just fantastic. Again, I just hope he can continue this form throughout the season, because right now, honestly, through 5 Premier League games, a very small percentage of the season, he's my hammer of the year, and I'm not joking about that.
Well,
through 5 games.
Well. Yeah, Fredericks, I felt should have been the first man subbed in the game. I felt that he was just non-existent. I mean, he was missing runs. He was misplacing passes again, but not. At least our own team caught up with them. He didn't give that many away, which was nice, but he was just non-existent. I kept seeing his ugly mug everywhere, but I didn't. He wasn't really doing much. I'm really pissed off at all the. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of other YouTube channels and stuff like that on both sides, and also neutrals. And everybody seems to have been talking shit about Yarmolenko, saying that, oh God, he can't wait. We need Antonio back. Antonio's a savior. Oh my God, he's the best player ever in the whole world. He's better than Pele. He's just the best player. He's so fast, so sexy, so muscular. He's the best thing in the world, and we need him back so bad. Yarmolenko, he sucks. He's been playing shit. I'm like, he's class, man. He's just not fit yet. He needs minutes to get fit.
Right.
So just give him a little bit of time. Now that Antonio's out, he'll get the time. Just give him time. And he had that nasty goal against Norwich that y'all never forget. It was just so beautiful. And yes, sure, against Villa, I mean, he was, he needed the minutes to catch his breath.
Right.
Because again, he was just nonstop. But that's how he always is. We've talked about this before. But this match, man, he showed once again what he can do. Like, that's a goal that Antonio cannot do. That's just beautiful. He knew where he was going with that ball, and it's just the class level. It's so much different, and that's what we need on the pitch. We need Yarmolenko finishing the season. We need Lanzini in there. Fornals, he needed the minutes as well. I mean, I'm not going to slag him off at all. I mean, he didn't have the best performance. He didn't have the worst performance. He was okay. He needed the minutes, so good for him. But Lanzini needs to be in there, because when you have Yarmolenko, Lanzini, and Anderson with Allaire up top, that is mint. You can't get any better than that for us. So yeah, that's a rant light, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to leave it at that. But performance, because everybody, literally. Everybody did something good today. And everybody performed well, especially off the bench. Wilshire was hustling his ass off coming off the bench. And same thing with Zabaleta. 2 games in a row where Zabaleta looked just phenomenal off the bench.
Zabaleta can give you 20 or 30 minutes, right? I mean, that's the thing.
And hold on. One last thing before I'll let you.
That's all I want to say. Go ahead.
Fabianski. Wow, dude. Love you, man. I love it so
3
much.
straight clean sheets. Yeah, I don't know when the last time that happened for West Ham. That's great,
dude. That's what a goalkeeper's job is.
Right.
You did it. I love you. All right, I said it. Now, what were we saying, Lee?
No, nothing. I just listen. First of all, you were right on Yarmolenko. I thought he looked worn out in the last 2 matches. Today, he was obviously magnificent, as he was against Norwich. And no way does Antonio score that goal today. Absolutely no way does he score that goal.
Oh no, Antonio! That ball would still be in the air.
I was going to say, if Antonio would take that shot, it'd be sailing over my garage right now. That's no way. I mean, Yarmolenko will have a shot. He's got a better shot than Antonio. And when he's on the pace, he's a better player. I thought Fornals, I thought what Lucas said here, that comment was just highlighted, Fornals' beautiful thought process. I think that's a really good thought because I thought he had the right idea, just a split second too late, And I think he'll have to get up to the physical nature of the Premier League as compared to La Liga, and maybe up to up to the pace of play as well. He can't be quite as fancy. He's got to think more quickly. He's got to move more, with more decisiveness. So I didn't think he was great today, but you know what? As you said, give him time.
Yeah,
he wasn't a liability. He stepped and he was fine. So give him time.
He did a couple of really good things and a couple whatever. He's not ready yet, but anyway, overall his performance was good. But he needed the minutes. That was the key. We couldn't judge him off the tiny portion of minutes he's had this season so far. So good for him, man. He needed that. And you know what? It's good that Lanzini is out. Just like it was great for Yarmolenko that Antonio was out. Fornals needs the minutes right now. As long as everybody else around the team is playing well, it doesn't matter if one guy's flip-flopped. I mean, that's fine. But when we have 4 or 5 injuries across the whole team, that's when we start to suffer. But if it's just one guy, one key player, 2 key players out, whatever, we're good.
That's when we made that investment last summer, 2 summers ago now, the £100 million investment. That plus what we did this summer in the last transfer window, it gave us depth, and that's something West Ham haven't had in as long as I've been following this game. You can have somebody like Lanzini injured, and you're able to have like a Fornals step in. You have a Masuaku suspended. Cresswell steps in. It used to be that if we lost a player at a key position, we were just screwed there. We had Antonio went right back. We had a bunch of spares coming in, taking up space, like Sam Byram. And I know he played well against Manchester City, but he's not a really good player. And what I think the investments that bought us is guys who can step in and fill holes when we have injuries or we have suspensions. That's what I think. I think it's been the biggest, credit that I give to the owners is this investment in deals. No, because they spent the money. They spent the money, and it's investment in depth, and it's depth that West Ham haven't had in a long, long time.
You're right. Hold on one second.
If Allaire goes down, it's going to be a different story.
Hold on a second. People in the chat room are talking about there's a sound issue.
Yes.
Are you typing, Andy?
No, I'm not. I'm actually getting.
I think he needs headphones because I think.
I'm trying to see if I can get headphones or something like that, and maybe it would help out.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think we're hearing our voices come through his speaker and his phone, and it's right next to his mic.
It sounds like we hear echo, but also typing. That's why
it does sound like typing.
I remember saying they can't see your hands because I keep going like this, so they know it's not me. But they were thinking that you, Celly, were typing.
Oh no! I
got to mention that my buddy George is here. George is a big West Ham fan. George is a big Maiden fan. We went to the show last month about 6
Right on.
I've known George for a long time. He's a good dude, and I told him we are going to be on live at 9 tonight, so he's on. He subscribed to us, so we're happy to have him here. He's over in Swampy, over in Swampscott, right over there, not too far from some of the finer parts of the Boston area, like Lynn and Revere. August. I love that part of Boston.
I fucking hate Massachusetts. I can't believe it.
I know you hate it here anyway.
I love palm trees. I don't belong. I love palm trees and 100-degree heat and the ocean and stuff like that. Not needles in the sand and all that good stuff.
6 inches in March.
Yeah, hypodermics in the beach with used condoms. I'm like, oh, that's lovely. That's River Beach.
Like Florida is pristine, but.
Oh well, it depends. The West Coast is pristine. They spend millions of dollars keeping it clean, whereas the East Coast of Florida is just like Riviera Beach.
Okay,
and it's shards, and broken bottles, and all that other good stuff. So,
one thing I'll say about the game too, kind of with both of your points for T and Lim. T and Lim, wow. Jeez, wow. No, I was thinking about this for a while, and I guess I'm just kind of excited to talk about it. But on the hands of Yarmolenko, I remember listening to the West Ham Way podcast, and they were talking about how what's the one way that you get a player back into fitness? You have to give him minutes. So Yarmolenko, perfect example. He's obviously coming back from a pretty big injury. You know, when Lanzini came back at the end of last season, you know, he wasn't the Lanzini that we know. But this season, you know, after he's healed up and he's got his minutes back, he's been playing well. Yarmolenko, before he got hurt, I mean, he was a big part in, you know, the team getting back off the 4-game snide that they were on. You know, especially we saw what he did against Manchester United last year at home. You know, and it's nice to see him coming back. I think the game against Villa on Monday is not necessarily the best example for him because I think the whole team, especially with players, you know, come back from international break and stuff like that. You know, I think just kind of universally people were sloppy. But then even moving forward from that, what for now is just he just got to get used to it too. Because La Liga, obviously, they definitely play a more finesse style of football there. I think the only league really that people can come from that would match the physicality of the Premier League is probably Italy, honestly.
Yeah, you know, you're right about that, and it's so because it's so defensively oriented there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Fornals, yeah, to me, the ideas were there, the aggression was there. I agree that he was a split second late, and you know he needs to make quicker decisions. But what I fear, Celly, is because I'm with you. I think Yarmo needed the minutes. I think Fornals needs the minutes. I fear, you know, we don't know how long Lanzini is going to be out.
Right.
The first report I read was 3 to 4 weeks. Well, I mean, so that's about a month.
Yeah,
It's kind of a long time. And you know, again, it's not as though he just steps in to the side after a month and just plays 90 minutes again. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Have to come back and have that, you know, have that recuperation time. He's going to need those minutes to recuperate. He's going to need actual match minutes to recuperate, which is why, you know, I think we need Fornals to learn on a very sort of rapid, you know, pace.
Yeah,
because we're going to have to count on him here very soon.
yeah. I mean, and even this coming up this week, playing in the cup match on Wednesday.
Right.
You know, just I know it might not be top tier talent, but at the same time, like he'll be facing a scrappy team because playing cup matches, especially on the road, is no gimme. I don't care who you are or you know what team you are. Those are always tricky.
They're always
so those might even be more physical than you know the games that he would play in the top league.
Yeah. So on that note, let's just get rid of the Hammers polls. I guess we'll do like a whole bunch of these because we haven't done any interview shows in the past, like I don't know, since Thursday really. So let's start off with that one. So out of how many out of 5 would you give Fornals for his 90 minutes today? Let's start with Andrew. Would you give him 1 to 2, 3, 4, or 5? Out of 5.
I'd probably give him a 3. He did some things that were impressive, and then some things that were, you know, kind of, you know, need some improvement. But
yeah.
I don't think he was below average by any means. You know, if we were going through, it was a little above average. I mean, it was, again, I think he needs some minutes, just like everybody's been saying. I think he needs to be able to kind of get used to game action with his teammates, and you know. He's been off the bench every other time, so this is first opportunity to really start and get major minutes.
And random minutes too. It wasn't. It wasn't the same amount. It wasn't like he was getting a full half like every single time. So to get a full 90, that was just fantastic. So, Celly, what do you think?
I'll give him a 3, and I know I just was speaking on him a second ago, so I won't take too long. But we all saw what he did when we signed him for the Spain under-20s, I believe it was. You know, when he gets his confidence and he's able to do what he can on the ball, I think you know it'll all be uphill from there. But I'll say a 3 today. I mean, he didn't lose us the game, he didn't win us the game. He put in a good shift, played 90 minutes, so can't complain with that.
Lee.
Yeah, same thing. I think a 1 or a 2 would indicate that he was a liability. I didn't think he was a liability. I also didn't think he provided any particular advantage. So 3, he was fine. He was fine. We won 2-0. It's a great performance. He didn't get in the way. He didn't do anything exceptional. He was fine. And I think I have faith in him. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's one of the players I was most excited about when we signed him. I think give him, you know, a couple more matches. You know, let him play in the FA Cup matches. Let him play in the League Cup. And then get him some more Premier League time, maybe to get ahead of somebody and, you know, give him a run out toward the end of a match. I think he'll be a good player. So, yeah, solidly average, and that's okay for where he is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so I agree. It's unanimous. And out of 278 votes. It's still 15 hours left to vote over there on Twitter on Hammers Polls. So head on over to our buddies over there and vote away. But yeah, 53% of the vote. 32% give him a 4, and I wouldn't argue too much with that. But 5 or a 1 or 2, I would.
I would definitely want to hear those reasons for the 5 and the 1 and 2.
Yeah,
for sure.
I 1 and 2 is very hard. Yeah,
4. I mean, whatever. He had moments that were a 4 for sure.
Yeah,
I believe, but I don't know. Whatever. So it's hard to pick, as everyone was superb. But who was your man of the match today from these 4? Between Cresswell, Yarmolenko, Rice, and Noble. Let's start with Lee and go backwards.
It's Mark Noble. Listen, Cresswell's free kick's fantastic. I thought he played exceptionally well. Declan was solid, as he always is. He diffused a couple of the few chances that Manchester had. There was one instance where Issa went for a tackle. He missed badly. He's like on a slip and slide out there. He just sliding toward the touch line, and Declan came back and cleaned it up. He was calm and cool and cleaned it up. Yarmolenko, obviously great goal, great performance. For me, if you watch who bossed that match in the midfield, it was Mark Noble. He's involved in the build-up to the first goal with a nice little flick by Anderson into Yarmolenko, but Noble hangs onto the ball, holds possession, waits until everybody's onside, makes the pass. Anderson flicks in. And then the second one, he gets taken down for the free kick. So for me, it's Mark Noble, but I'm on a real Mark Noble kick right now. So
yeah, well, that's true. Most of us are. So Celly.
I think it'd be hard to argue against Noble for that as well. I would still say, there are times where I'll watch him play, and it's kind of frustrating because sometimes, he has a tendency to kind of kill a counterattack where the ball just kind of gets stuck at his feet. But I will say that, and this isn't just for this game, but since he's been back, the team has been playing at a really incredible level, and that's hard to argue. But you can make cases, honestly, for all of them. I mean, Cresswell, his goal, I think whenever you play, teams like United or them, you always will need, more than one going into the final few minutes. And you knew that once that free kick went in and it was top corner, they just took the breath out of Man United for any kind of hope that they had for the game. But I think Noble has to take it today.
Andrew.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything different. I mean, I think Mark Noble helped build both goals. It just seemed that a few years ago, it seemed as if, like you were just saying, he kind of was slow at making decisions with counterattacks and everything else like that, and he'd lose the ball quite well. But you can just tell the experience that he has in the Premier League. You can just tell that he can help set up different, attacks from anywhere, and he's great at leading, and he's great at just being Mr. West Ham like he is. I mean, he just can. When he's out of the lineup, you can definitely tell. You can just definitely tell something different about it, and so I just think he was able to help win this game today.
I think that Rice made the least amount of mistakes out of the 4. Noble made a couple, key mistakes on a build-up that we had something going, and he just stupidly, and he stuck his hand up in the air and sorry, whatever. Same thing with Yarmolenko and same with Cresswell. I mean, they all made mistakes. I wouldn't give Rice the man of the match, though. I would definitely. I'd give it to Cresswell, man. I don't know, man. He put in he put a fantastic performance that nobody predicted. Nobody predicted he plays as well as he did today.
Especially with the pace they have coming down that side, and he's not the quickest of people, but he didn't. He, like you said, he wasn't really the cause of them.
No, the few chances that they had, that were sitters or blinders. I mean, they could have scored on us a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Had nothing to do with him.
No,
it wasn't his time. It was somewhere between the center or right center or somewhere around there. So I would fucking Fredericks. Anyway, I would give it to I'd give it to Cresswell, but I mean I wouldn't oppose giving it to any of them really. They all play fantastic. Noble, like all of you said, I agree with all of you about how Noble's been fantastic for the club since He's come back, and he needs to stay for sure, 100%. So we'll just say Noble, and 53% said Noble, and 21%. That's second place right there for Yarmolenko.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe because they gave us the push. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what happened? It happened at the perfect time. I love goals when we score them right before halftime. It's a fantastic. It just deflates in a 0-0 match. It deflates. It's just perfect to be able to go into the break that way. I thought,
especially because neither one was trying to go for the game. Really, I think both teams were just trying to get out the half. Clean shirts, 0-0, go in, try to sneak one in the second, and we were able to sneak one right before halftime. And I will say too, just real quick, I think Noble does have to be careful because that's 2 straight games where he's made harsh tackles and he's gotten a card for it. So, I would hate to see either his cards build up and he has to, get suspended for a match, or that he gets kicked out of a match and we end up losing. But other than that, it's great.
Yeah, he does do that. He is rough, and we love him for it. But you're right; he has to be careful. He's a throwback player, but in this era, you can't always get away with that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
By the way, since when does Aaron Cresswell even take free kicks? Has he ever taken a free kick for us before?
Yeah,
he has. He's done in the past.
Yeah, many times.
When? How long ago?
Recently, even this season, last season, when we had obviously Payet. I mean, he was the guy to go up and do it. I am surprised that somebody else doesn't, but
I have no memory. When's the last time he scored on one?
Ooh, I don't know.
That's a good question.
Maybe that's why I don't remember taking him.
Right.
17-18 season, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I should remember that, but anyway, it just that's why. I never think of him as a free kick taker per se, but I guess he is, and certainly today he was.
So what is everyone's thoughts?
Interesting headline.
What is everyone's thought? Well, this is a great lead in. What's everyone's thoughts on the media deflating West Ham's victory and saying that it was either a shit Man United lineup because they were missing so many key players and they were just playing their B squad, or B, it wasn't a B squad, but they just played like shit. So it was the fact that United played like shit, or that Ole Gunnar Kakafar, whatever his name is, said that he's lost the plot as a manager. It's all these things about them, nothing about how fantastic we played, unless it's actually from our website. So
hasn't it always been? It's not the other team wins; it's just Manchester United loses.
Always,
pretty much.
There's no really. Hey, somebody outplayed Manchester United. Manchester United just didn't play well, or they had injuries, or whatever. They don't want to see. That's what sells, I guess. Oh, hey, this is what Manchester United did. They lost this game. The other team didn't win it.
Well, I'll say this too. If you notice, Tim, if you could scroll back up for me real fast, I'll make a perfect point. So you notice ESPN, obviously in America, not the biggest followers of international football. Their title, Man United have fallen so far that defeats to West Ham are no longer a surprise, which would make the common person think that West Ham is, just whoever. But
Right.
then you look at The Guardian from England, who knows what they're doing. Aaron Cresswell seals the victory for West Ham over toothless Manchester United. So I think it's really interesting, to have the British point of view and the American point of view as your first two titles, because, the second one, the Guardian one, I think that definitely would say more to the fact of what happened in the game. Manchester United, they had their moments. I mean, they're always going to get one or two chances that they could easily put away. But at the end of the day, there wasn't Fabianski had a great game, but he wasn't really ever troubled, not too much. And then
a couple times, but not really. Yeah, more than that.
Yeah. Nothing that you were kind of holding your breath for.
Well, last season he probably would have let in, but he's looking phenomenal this season. He's actually keeping himself in the right position. I'm very proud of him.
Right.
Because I gave him so much shit last season for doing, he would have let those in for sure. But did anybody see? So before the match, I went on Instagram and I was watching. I said, "Oh, Rio Ferdinand is live." So I clicked on it, and he's in the his fancy car. Someone's driving around to the match before the game, and it's all about United. Oh yeah, 4-2, 4-0, and then he was he completely just flat out disrespecting anything about West Ham. Then after the match, Yeah, did you guys see the video of him arguing with? I guess it's their version of West Ham Fan TV, but it was a Man United thing. Basically, they're everybody's calling. Not everybody. The fans are calling for whatever Cuckafart's name is. I don't know. I can't pronounce it.
Solskjaer,
Whatever.
Lay at the wheel.
Yeah, they're calling for his sacking. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Go ahead, Leo.
Go ahead, Celly. Go ahead.
Well, I think a lot of it too, if you think about it, Man United at, one point in time were the mountaintop. They were the team that everybody wanted to aspire to be. They had the nicest stadium, the best players, and the majority of the team was, British, and they were beating people with Britain's best players, and I think a lot of the reason why people are giving it so much flack that they lost to West Ham is because West Ham haven't done much really in the past. Now we obviously watching them game in and game out. We could see that over the past couple of years we're building something, and one day, obviously we aspire to be, the cities, Liverpool's, United's of the league, but obviously we have to build that from something. I mean, Manchester City wasn't built overnight. They got a new owner 2008, spent money, got quality players. He found players that he probably got at a discounted price. Anyway, long story short, look at what they are now. For us, if we want to get to that level, it's not just going to happen. We have the manager, we have the fans, we have the stadium. It just has to happen. A little unfortunate with injuries, but any team can make that excuse. But anyway, point of the matter is that today, West Ham aren't Man United, and it looks bad on paper. But if you were to watch the game, you see we're just that much better today.
Yeah. We were better last season too. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
We beat them at home.
Beat them on the road too, to be honest.
Right. That's exactly right. We had VAR last season, we'd have gotten 6 points off of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Andrew, what do you think, man?
I mean, I hear the injuries excuse and everything else like that. I mean, you look at any sport. Any team can go through an injury bug. Any team can do it. You have to play who's in front of you. If they want to just cancel the game and say, hey, we have too many injuries, we'll just take 3 points and not, risk anybody. No problem. But, if that's the thing that fans are going to use, and trust me, I have friends who are Manchester United fans, and they'll, this, that, and the other thing with injuries. But, the same principle is everywhere. How do we get past that? Injuries are going to happen, and you play who's in front of you. That's it.
Yeah, no one's going to feel bad for them. They were the top tier, the kids in the block for so long that if they start to fall, welcome to the rest of us. I saw a video of I don't remember what the game was that they lost this season, but their fans were losing it. If there was a death in the family or something, because they had got beat. It's welcome to the rest of us.
Exactly. They're not threatened with relegation. They may not finish in the top 4. They may not finish in the top 6. I don't think they will. But, they're going to be – if the worst they're going to be is a mid-table club, and we have dealt year after year, season after season with, relegation fights and actual relegation and having to come back. They have no nerve,
no backbone.
They have no backbone. And they just are not going to find another Alex Ferguson. They're not. And it's the point of Palace. That
they spent 90 million fucking pounds on Harry Maguire, dude.
That's what I'm saying. That's
the dumbest fucking thing. And then I was listening to Roy Keane and Jose Mourinho after the match, and Jose Mourinho was saying, I was begging for a 90 million pound or to spend 90 million pounds or even 30 million pounds on a fucking center back, and they wouldn't let me do it.
Right.
And they fucking spend it on Harry Maguire, dude.
It's desperation spending because they haven't found their next Sir Alex, and they're not going to. Listen,
they couldn't nick Diop from us either.
No, they
couldn't. £2 million, and they couldn't take it from us.
They're begging us for Diop, and we're like, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to sell this time. For once, we're not going to sell. West Ham selling club. And this time, we're not selling.
That's the other thing that I forgot to mention earlier when I was watching that live video before the match with Rio Ferdinand. He was saying that he firmly believes that Declan will be a United player within the next year or two. He's like, no, it's inevitable. He's English. He's so good. He has to play. He's United. He's like, just like me when I was, his age. I mean, they were telling me the same exact way. He's got to be a United player. Period.
Not if they keep projecting down.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, City,
fucking idiots.
City or Liverpool or Chelsea, but not Manchester United. Who would go there now? I mean, okay, there's a lot of money there, but right now,
he'd go back to Chelsea, 100%. I mean, in 2 or 3 years, but his stock needs to rise a bit. I mean,
I agree.
He needs to develop a little bit more because I think we haven't. I've said this before. We haven't seen his best yet. Nobody has. He's 2 or 3 years away from there. His hot, his best period. But again, I don't think Chelsea's going to be any good then either. I don't.
Not. I mean, they're going to struggle this season because they've had this transfer ban, and
I think West Ham will be in a better position in 2 or 3 years than United or Chelsea.
I think it's very possible, yeah. Especially United. I look at them and they just look average to me right now. They look like a mid-table club. They're starting.
How hilarious would it be if they ended up like Bolton and just like blew their money, mismanaged. Somebody mismanaged something somewhere, and next thing you know, holy shit, we're losing points. We're getting deducted. We effed up on the fair play, and next thing you know, they're getting dropped down division or two.
Right.
And one of the biggest clubs in the world. And
they'd be the New York Mets, right? They'd be the New York Mets.
You look at Chelsea and how many loans they've had over the past 5 years to develop young players.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you look at we have Ben Johnson, we have Grady still playing well for West Brom this year,
fantastic.
and we have Declan. We have 3 really good young players that we can, and there's just not Chelsea youngsters just seem lost a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Well, they burn through them so quickly. I mean, they send them off on loan. They know they don't really have a chance at the senior team, so they kind of burn through them. And I think they burnt some of those kids out. I think there's much motivation there because they know they're not really going to have any significant time in the starting 11. Whereas here,
there's two more right here. Look at this. Solskjaer's team, a complete mess in another abysmal showing. That's goal.com. Man United poor again in West Ham defeat. I give them a 4 out of 10. I mean, anyway, whatever. It's expected.
They sell newspapers or advertising on websites. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world.
It gets reads.
Right. I mean, that's exactly right. It gets clicks, it gets reads, it gets views. It makes sense to talk about them because nobody wants to talk about how good West Ham is. We don't have the profile they have. They're a massive club. They're huge in Asia. They're huge all over Africa. There are literally billions of people who follow Manchester. I don't think it's an exact.
I think they're probably the 3rd biggest club in the world.
Well, I think you have Real, you have Barca, you have Manchester United, Liverpool.
Juventus now.
That is bigger. And Juventus is definitely up there. But I think you said it exactly, Lee. Yeah. I think it's Real Madrid, Barca, one of give or take, and then United. I think that's the way it always has been. I know these clubs are growing into the top 10, around the whole world, top 5. I think Juventus is definitely growing up there. But, Milan used to be there. Inter used to be there.
Milan especially used to be there, and they're irrelevant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Roma.
And the thing that's crazy now, not on a world scale, but just in the Premier League is, speaking of how, West Ham, don't get the respect that they deserve. If we had won on Monday, we'd be sitting 1 point above Manchester City in the table right now at 2nd place. We'd be 14 points in 2nd place right now if we won on Monday, which is crazy to think, But I saw a graphic this week that showed from this time in the season, back in the last ball in season, we were 2nd place then too. I think 2 points off the lead.
That's right.
It was like. Who was it? It was City and then us, and then I think Leicester were the top 3.
Yeah, Leicester. Well, Leicester won the league that season, and I think Leicester.
Yeah, Tottenham finished 2nd, I think, because they were racing for a while.
Tottenham were up there somewhere because we were in the same neighborhood as Tottenham there for a little while.
Yeah.
Now we're looking down on Tottenham. Oh, I don't know how long it lasts, but it's nice for the time being.
It was nice. They lost this weekend too.
Right down the table. Tottenham,
right.
Pulling a bunch of them down there.
Ray's making some good points in the chat room, and we'll look into that, Ray, about the out-of-contract players and stuff like that. We'll probably mention them on Wednesday night, maybe for the debate show. Right, Lee?
Silva will be another good
Wednesday night.
We don't know who you got yet, but I'll throw some in there for you. So unless Wayne has one of his guys doing it, I don't know. No one knows yet. But anyway, we have a Fantasy Premier League show tomorrow night. Before we even get into any of that stuff, let's do some rapid fire questions with Andrew.
Nice.
All right.
Perfect.
So they could be rapid. You can elaborate whatever you want to do, man. It's all you. We'll give you the floor. But meat pie or apple pie?
Oh, I'd probably go apple pie. I'm a sweets person, so I'll go with that.
No, nothing wrong with that. The other thing is, there's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's that question. There are wrong answers.
Kind of like Bill's picture of you. I mean, that's what we're trying to do is showcase,
Right.
you tonight. So,
Appreciate it.
who's your favorite current West Ham player?
Favorite current West Ham player, I would probably go with. I would go with Felipe Anderson. I mean, there are times where he frustrates me, but I just the touch pass today, the Yarmo for the goal, the back heel from last year that I can remember the goal. It's just fun to watch.
Awesome, man. Well, that kind of leads into the next question. So, who frustrates you the most in the current squad?
Well, if you had asked me who frustrated me the most up until today, it would be Cresswell. Cresswell was frustrating to kind of watch in defense.
Got that answer before.
Yeah, today again, I think we can all agree he needed this big game, and I think it's going to really boost his confidence. But Cresswell would probably be the most frustrating prior to. But like I said, your favorite players are always ones that you always want to do well. So I would say him or Felipe sometimes.
We talked about this the other night, and we were saying that I think Cresswell he's got a point to prove, obviously, right? I mean, there's been the Masuaku contract extension, Pellegrini coming out saying that's his guy. This was his chance to come out and actually perform, and he did. But do you guys think that maybe it's a little sidetrack here? I'm sorry, but you guys think it might have something to do with him not wearing the captain's band today? There's like a load of pressure taken off of him, even though he needed to perform.
I think anytime you're a captain, it adds pressure to him, no matter who you're playing.
He wore the band against City, and you saw what happened. So that's all the reason why I'm asking. He did.
I don't blame him for the City match. Look, we weren't ready to play. And we don't play.
That's the whole team.
Some sort of aversion to play Manchester City, where we go out and look like Watford when we play them. I mean, if you look at our 5 Premier League matches thus far, that game was a total aberration compared to the I don't blame Cresswell.
All right. Well,
I think you have a point. I do think I certainly, do not prefer. I certainly prefer Noble as a captain, obviously. And maybe there was something to not having to marshal the whole side, where he could just feel the freedom to just play his game.
That's what I was feeling. That's what that feeling I got watching the game today. So Andrew, FA Cup or top 4 finish?
Oh,
top 4 doesn't mean like 4th place. It means anywhere in the top 4th position.
Yeah, see, I mean, I would rather have a top 4 finish, and the reason why I say that is I've dreamed of them kind of coming and playing in Europe outside of the 2 times that they just failed out of the Europa League. But
that's Billich's fault.
That was Astroglide. That was Astrogudu.
Astroglide, yeah.
The Romanians. We couldn't get past. Billich couldn't get past the Romanians.
Romanian farmers is dumb calling.
Yeah.
Andrew, I think you're probably the second person to say that. To be honest,
yeah, most people
to choose that.
Yeah, I don't know, Andrew.
Yeah,
Andrew.
Granted, you're
not the only one.
You get into the Champions League, but I mean, again, to be in the top 4 and to hear that Champions League music and get in. And to see them playing on those.
Yeah, you never know what can happen in the Champions League, that's for sure.
I mean, that's right. The Champions League is cool.
No wrong answer, but you're not the only person who said that, but you're the only other one who said that.
Sure. No, West Ham, we probably get in a group with Juventus, Barcelona, and
yeah,
exactly.
It'd be a great away day, but
right, yeah.
Oh, brutal. What are people saying in the chat room? Anybody talking shit about that? No.
I don't know. But no,
everyone's saying, someone else at top 4. Holy shit.
George says top 4. George.
Is Georgia all right?
I gotta respectfully disagree. It's a trophy for me every time. It's a trophy. Sorry,
and then you get a chance to get a trophy at the beginning of the season too, the community shield.
Especially for Mark Noble at this point. Because if we're gonna have the Mark Noble stand, which we will have the Mark Noble stand 20 years from now, because he's the last of a dying breed.
Yeah.
We need the photos of him holding up the FA Cup in 2020. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the bonds in 1980 and 75 and so forth. Yeah, we need that.
What about West Ham do you love?
Yeah, Lucas is right.
I love that West Ham comes from the working class people in East London. I love the fan base and how they travel. I love the way the club operates. I went and visited a couple years ago, and I walked in the front door. It was actually the last day of the season. They were playing Man City. This is probably about 4 years ago. I walked in the front door of Upton Park, and the woman, explained to the woman, I'm from Florida. I'm here to, just kind of see the stadium. She brought me to the owner's box, and I got to stand in the owner's box, and I got to see the whole stadium, take pictures.
Oh, wow.
And to know that it's not there anymore, and to know that that's kind of how they treat their fans, even from someone that stops by for an hour, is something that's really cool. I think they represent a lot of kind of what New England sports is too. I mean, you have teams that just always have these high expectations, and then these things just happen, and things go wrong, and you're just like, oh man, I can't believe it happened again. And then next year they go, hey, it's a new year, we're going to do it again, and and the same thing happens. But I just see it going up and up and up. I really do.
All right,
well, take a screenshot of what Lucas said. Get that portrait on his back on the FA Cup.
No, I'll do the same thing.
All right. So, what about West Ham do you hate?
Probably that exact same thing. That things just seem to go wrong, and players get injured, and your season's kind of. I mean, the first thing that pops to mind is, in this frustration is Dean Ashton. Dean Ashton was supposed to be the 20-goal scorer that we were going to have for many, many years, and he goes to England for one game, and his Achilles or whatever it was.
Never comes back. Yeah,
he did a great interview with Hammers Chat like a month ago. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go over to Hammers Chat. Just Google Hammers Chat and not you Google, but search on YouTube. Dean Ashton, Hammers Chat, and take a look. It was a sit down with. I wasn't a sit down. It was just a one-on-one conversation with Gio. Really good interview. Really well done.
Well, I put Jack Collison, our buddy Jack, in the same category. I think he would have been he was a great player. Would have been a fantastic player for many years, but. Again, he had the catastrophic injury.
He'd been playing with injuries for years before that. Yeah, I think since like the 9-10 season, he said. 2009-2010 season. Since that point, he said he was always playing at like 80% or less.
That's true.
Just tells you something. I mean, most players like that. Get that off the screen. Stop it. Jesus Christ. What sound makes you happy?
What sound makes me happy?
Could be anything. It doesn't have to be anything.
When I get the notification that I have my direct deposit for the week.
Listen, there you go, man.
Yeah,
that's what.
Can't beat that.
What's your favorite curse word?
Oh,
you spell it out if you want.
No. I mean. Fuck is definitely the best curse word. I mean, you can use it as a noun, you can use it as a verb, you can use it as an adjective, whatever. It's just so versatile.
Yeah, that's the number one answer the survey says. We've heard the second. I guess you'd probably guess would be the C and the ends with the T one.
Yeah.
But we've heard everything from bollocks to twat.
Twat. That's a great one.
Okay.
That one cracks me up.
That's good. I like that one.
Every time.
What team do you love to beat?
Because I know a lot of Manchester United fans, I love being able to beat them. I love.
Yes, me too.
I posted the standings with my buddy back from New Orleans, saying, with a smiley face, showing that we were ahead of them in the standings. Last time we beat them, I sent them the score. I was like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? And, of course, every excuse.
Ole's at the wheel.
Right.
But the thing I like to see most on TV and stuff like that is when we beat Tottenham. I think the crowd just goes absolutely bonkers when we beat Tottenham, and that's fun to watch.
I agree with you, except I would say I love to beat Tottenham. I'm sorry, I love to beat Man U, but love to beat the shit out of someone who supports Tottenham, or like love to beat someone who,
Right.
especially the American Tottenham supporter. Those are the fucking
American
worst
supporter,
scum of the earth.
Oh yeah.
It's true. One in particular, I would imagine.
I would love to be, just creep up on one while he's staring at himself in the mirror and just slam his face right through it. I'd be like, "Your hair looks fine,"
I even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, not just. I mean, they're all like that. I swear to God, they're all cut from the same mold. They are. Dude. I've met many more. They're all the same.
They're pretty boys. They're pretty boys. All of them.
Yeah, they are. They try to be. And
that's my whole point.
So cocky, condescending nose up and just want to fucking smash them. All right. So name a player, past or present, that epitomizes West Ham to you.
Oh.
There's no wrong.
I would say the player that was past that epitomized West Ham a lot. I have to explain it, but Julian Dix was always somebody
that's come up a lot.
Had that hard nose, just was willing to do the gritty things. Mm-hmm. And again, was he always the fairest person on the? Probably not, but he would do all those things, and he would just have the attitude and the swagger to do it. And West Ham fans have that swagger. It's just having to be hidden because we've had to struggle for so long. I mean, we have the ability to point at people and go, we're the best team in London right now. As soon as the game was over, we're the best in London. It's 5 games in. But you know what? We are the best in London right now.
Yeah. I was watching my 9-year-old in training the other day, and he was defending, and their kid had the ball, and he comes up and he just kicks the kid. And then he just takes the ball away. And I said, "Oh, it looks like Julian Dix out there." And 3 guys turn around and look at me, and I'm like, "No, Julian, okay, you don't know who that is." But we do have a kid on the team named Julian, so that probably didn't help. But I was like, "Oh, Julian,
yeah, watch that mouth."
He was a player. He's not, you know what I mean?
Right.
The player, but they don't know. They don't follow West Ham.
But he made any opposing team earn coming into his space.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Celly, remind me what your answer was for our interview with you. Who did you say?
For player that epitomizes West Ham? Oh, man, what did I say? Dang, to be honest, I don't remember.
Well, tell us now. You can start over.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Make up a new one.
Yeah, it probably is going to be.
Basically, to you. I'm not. That was the whole thing. Is that when we first started asking these questions, they were out of context. So basically, what was meant to say was, in the period that you were watching the club, like who epitomizes to you. So mine would be different because I started watching in 2012. 2011. Yeah, and you watched before that.
Yeah,
and before that. So
yeah, for me, man, who. Since I've been watching, which is probably the most recent of anybody watching this, I mean, it's easy to say Mark Noble, but I guess outside of him, you could definitely say Adrian, I think. I mean, I know he's not in the club anymore, but
I like that.
I mean, he's been the keeper for West Ham since I've been watching, and he's always been, that consistent number one. I know the last, year or two, he kind of fell off for whatever reason, but
he was getting Adrian.
He was
getting the same punishment that he did to Juicy when he came in, taking over. When I thought Juicy was just doing just fine, and I hated Adrian when he first came in. I'm like, who is this fucking prick? And then all of a sudden, the same thing happened to him over and over again with Randolph and Joe Hart, now Fabianski. And I'm like, it's just the taste is so messy. But you know what? When that pushed him to be a better player, it did.
No, I agree.
So when he did perform, I thought he was fantastic.
And his penalty, his penalty save, and then next to be his game winner. That whenever you play highlights of the ball in, it has to be in there.
Love that.
I think he fed off that. He definitely grew, into being a top class goalie in my opinion. So I'll probably have to say him. Rio Ferdinand.
Wait, did you not listen to the conversation that I was talking about? How I listened to that cocksucker on Instagram Live today.
You got the laughing tear eye emoji there.
It's funny. I think players like Rio Ferdinand, like I know obviously he has that respect for West Ham because
from now on we don't mention Rio on the show anymore. How about that? Not for a while.
Right.
That's fine with me. I don't.
So much respect for him today.
Yeah. Well, I will say just real quick, since it's the last time we could talk about him. Obviously, I'm sure he has that spot in his heart, for the club because he got his name, in a sense here. But with the trophies and stuff that he won at United, I mean, there's no way he's still going to claim West Ham after all the success that he had at every single level at United. So I mean, it is what it is, his loss, but whatever.
Andrew, we got to wrap this up, but the last question is, if you could take a time machine back to experience anything to do with West Ham, when and where would it be?
I would take a time machine back to see England win the World Cup. I'm sorry, West Ham win the World Cup.
There you go. Yep. That's a great answer. I think that we've heard that a couple times. No, that's great. We usually the number one answer is FA Cup, but again, there's no wrong answer, and that's awesome. I would love to go back to see that. 100%. Hell yeah. Well, that's great. Listen, Andrew, man, I hope you enjoyed yourself tonight. We kind of changed things up a bit on the fly tonight, but Lee threw me off popping in. I thought he was going to be here, but anyway, Lee is so funny. I was telling Celly, I'm like, listen, I'm giving Sunday nights to you to be with Lee. But Lee can't be here for the next couple Sundays, so I'm going to be with you. So anyway, everybody,
nights are
once again, I'm on a show, and I'm just going to take off. I'll see. I'm not going to be on Sundays anymore. You guys got it.
Sunday during the day is a little rough right now, but nights, man, I clear the nights. I'm telling you, I clear the nights. It's what I do. I don't watch Sunday Night Football or any of that garbage.
Awesome.
This is what I do. So,
all right. Well, tomorrow we're going to interview somebody. Who knows? Just so you know, starting in October, our Sunday, well, who knows what nights? I don't even know yet. We're mixing the programming around, adding new shows. I did want to say that I was going to mention this. We're going to do like a game show. We're going to do a music show. We're going to do a wrestling podcast, not a show. There's going to be a whole bunch of new West Ham content on the channel to kind of spice things up, change things up, so it's not just interviews all the time. Even though I know the majority of you love listening to these interviews, which is why they're not going away. They're just shifting. We're restructuring, to make it fresh for you and everybody. Because that's what we care about is you. So if you care about us, why don't you click on the subscribe button and let it help us reach 1,000, and also the share button so that you can, spread the word and help us reach 1,000. Listen, I know for a fact that there's more than 826 or 828 West Ham fans out there. There's definitely more because we have 2,000 of you following us on Instagram and 2,000 following on Twitter and 1,000 you on Facebook. So can you guys also just click the subscribe button, please? It'll make me less stressed. So anyway, love you guys, and thanks. I hope you all had a great night, and look forward to seeing more content from us, but also look forward to seeing Celly with Lee. That'll be great.
Good.
And also, we might be doing some more full times. Yeah, definitely, Andrew. And listen, man, I really appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we get to talk soon about trying to figure out some way to watch matches together, since Lee, and I are in the area. So, we'll stay in touch,
my man.
To
have my West Ham shrine up for next time, not just the scarf in the background randomly here.
Oh, definitely. I know. Listen, that was great, man. I appreciate it. Everybody else, have a great evening. Come on, you Irons. See you tomorrow night. Every other night this week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.